So Timur Sardarov, CEO and President of MV Agusta Motor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, although we don't have a show, a proper show, but anyway, you know, on behalf of KicXstart and Motor Rider magazines from the Netherlands and Belgium, it's good, really good to talk to you. And the first thing, yeah, it's the most logical question and the most decent question is to ask you, how are you doing health-wise, and how is the company doing, the workers, the staff, everything in this corona crisis?
We started implementing the kind of new normal rules, new normal, from the middle of February. So that's why we managed to create the certain conditions for the workers, especially for workers, to prevent them with interacting. So everyone, including all the third-party services, suppliers, logistics, everyone had to go through temperature check, wear masks was compulsory from middle of February. So thanks God, no one got sick in the company. Yeah.
That's
so
good.
That's why the family of workers and employees are fine. We constantly check. Everyone is insured.
Right.
We're helping local hospital as well. So we well protected our workers and our staff during the crisis. But I don't know what will happen after, because now it's a phase 2, phase 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
But phase 1 we went well.
Good. That sounds good. Because just to have an idea, Varese, Skirana region, what we have in the Netherlands and Belgium, we're focusing on Bergamo, which is the heaviest, the epicenter or whatever.
Epicenter, yeah.
Yeah, of Corona. But is the Varese
it's 100
region,
kilometers away.
Is it comparable with Bergamo, Corona-wise?
No, not even close. The Bergamo is about 100 kilometers away, and Bergamo is really tough.
Yeah.
The death toll there is about 8 times more than normal, and Varese is okay. I think it's only it's about 2,500 positive people in Varese today.
Okay, well, it's sad anyway. It's hard times, you know, because how does Corona, COVID-19, how does it affect MV Agusta? The production, do you have lockdowns? Especially production-wise, how does it affect?
There are 2 effects. One that comes from suppliers, because we have a very complicated supply chain, and a lot of suppliers are coming from Italy, so a lot of them got hit. Then obviously Asian suppliers. So it came with waves, starting from about middle of February. We started feeling the disruption in supply chain. Borders are closed, the customs are closed, and the most important, the companies are closed.
Yeah.
On the other side, the borders are closed, the dealers are closed, and obviously customers are sitting at home and buying stuff on internet and thinking how they're going to go through this crisis. So it comes from both ways. The good thing about MV Agusta that we are very flexible. We're much more flexible than our competitors.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, because you're a relatively small company, is that an advantage or is it a disadvantage in this crisis?
You know, it's interesting. You know, MV Agusta, he's a lot of times, and so we have very tuned in for that type of situation. So the company's, the structure is very adaptable to manage the disruptions in supply chain, especially. So that's why we are very good at it, unfortunately. And so that's why before the company had an issue with the proper funding, and had to manage the way through that. Now it's coronavirus. So our staff and our all our departments are very, very adaptable to managing the crisis. And plus, yes, we are smaller, so we don't have an issue with overproducing, like many companies had to face.
Exactly.
Because we manage our stock and our inventory very well. So we inventory it all, everything sold out. So that's why for us we're not reducing the amount of bikes being produced this year. We actually will push to increase it. So we believe that the upper premium segment is more protected in this type of crisis, because our customer usually is, how to say, has a buffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Has a financial buffer.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue will be with cheaper products, because that's where it's going to get affected with overproducing, depreciation of stock. So we want to use this opportunity as an entrepreneurial company to actually be stronger, develop more dealers, reach out to customers, speak with them in the language that right now is applicable. We're also rolling out the financing of our products, so it will be easier to buy, cheaper to buy, obviously. And we right now we're in the fighting mode.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds surprising. Because you would say in lockdowns and these crises, the people are staying in their bunkers and waiting for the sun coming up again. But you're concentrating on the different things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
I will have to.
Yeah.
I have to manage the business at the end of the day, and obviously the times are tough, but we need to use any opportunities to fight this. And it's normal, because a lot of big companies they're much slower, they're much more bureaucratic, they have a lot of layers and layers and layers of management that definitely are not as flexible as us. But we can redirect our attention or the barrels and shoot very quickly. So I want to use that opportunity as well.
Is it also that Corona could be? Oh, it's difficult to say. It's tricky to say that, but could be a relief in a certain way, because it gives some kind of post-Corona new age or new economy for MV Agusta as well, a new restart.
I mean, the good thing about this crisis is that this crisis will level everyone. So when MV Agusta carried this legacy of being the company in the crisis, now it's done. So now everyone is in crisis. And that's good, because now it will improve the public perception. Because MV Agusta is now stable, it's delivered all the spare parts, the product is reliable. So a lot of things that happened in the last 2-3 years, the public and the customer notice way later. And right now, we will notice it more. So, and generally, I don't want to say that this crisis will be kind of positive for the motorcycle industry, but I'm an advocate for the two-wheel mobility, not just motorcycles, but everything on two wheels, because I believe the two-wheel product pollute less, more flexible, takes more space, or less space than the car. And with the current sharing economy, with the good public transport, you don't need a car, to be honest. You can use it when you want it. You can hire, you can lease it, hire it, you can use the short-term options. But the bike is something that gives you ability to move around cities, around your community, going on a trip. So that's why the bike in that type of crisis, where the public transport becoming a bit more concerning, I would say, especially until the vaccine is found. reliable accident, and that will be year and a half. Now public will consider bicycles. Holland is all over that.
We
We
know
already
it.
considered it for many years. Yeah, so but you'll consider more to go on two-wheel mobility. That's why I hope motorcycle industry will bounce much quicker than for example, automotive. And already we see this in China. In last month, they surpassed motorcycle sales from April last year. I
Really?
think by 10 or 15%. Yeah.
In China. But now, actually, at this moment, it's when I hear you correctly, it's not about the production of the motorcycles. It's even more how to create customer satisfaction, create how do you say that, a good community, good service, good dealer network and everything. And in my humble opinion, I think that's something MV Agusta really had to work on as well, has neglected a lot.
I mean, the previous strategy, the previous management approach, it was, I would say, was extremely naive and negligent too. So the company was growing very quickly till 2016 and 17, without giving the proper structure to the quality of dealers, to the quality of service, after service, support. So it was more about getting more and more product out there. And I came in as a CEO. I became a CEO just a bit over a year ago, and I put CRM. First CRM in the multinational company.
Yeah.
The company didn't have a CRM.
CRM?
I didn't know. The CRM is the client relationship management.
Okay.
So
Yes, okay.
it's a software that dealer uses, us use, so we know exactly what's going on. So, but the quality of the network, the quality of the communication to the client, the quality of the support of the client, right? It's a top priority, and it's top priority that we now form the biggest ever stock for the spare parts. So we're communicating into the network that we deliver within from 48 to 72 hours in Europe, or any part will be delivered. If any question client has, it can reach me directly. If he has a problem with the dealer, it can reach me directly, and I will deal with it. Because the dealers are also a part of the problem. The quality of the dealers are part of the problem. Because right now, if you want to fix your MV Agusta, you want to buy a special part, it's very easy to do. But sometimes dealers are now a problem. So the quality of the dealers is, we're changing them. We're canceling the dealers that are not performing. We set up the completely new structure for them to benefit from MV Agusta, but also to be responsible for our client, because our client needs to have a special attention. And so that's why for us, we're in very business development mode right now. Yeah. We're speaking with over 160 dealers right now in Europe.
But new dealers or
new dealers?
New dealers. Yeah, because I mean, what you just said is that you're judging the way existing dealers work, and eventually, if possible, if necessary, just kick them out, so to say. The first thing that came to my mind is saying, oh God, MV Agusta is getting even more arrogant and as it used to be. It gives it an unapproachable. The image of MV Agusta was always, it's not for me. It's not for the regular rider. Everybody thinks it's beautiful, but it's for the happy few, too unreachable for me. But that's something you really want to change then.
My approach is actually vice versa. I want MV Agusta to be humble. I want to be humble.
Exactly.
I want to be open.
Yeah.
Before was, before my arrival, the company was very arrogant, and it paid for its arrogance a lot. When we talk about the dealers, dealers need to understand what they represent, because Via Augusta has a lot of authenticity, has a lot of depth in history,
Oh yes.
have a lot of knowledge, has a lot of culture, and the dealer need to represent it in the dealer identity, in the way it sells, in the way it communicates, in the way it present ourselves. But many dealers were using Via Augusta the cherry on the cake. They will sell other brands, and then we'll have 2, 3 in Via Augusta parked in the corner. This is not a dealer for Via Augusta. By the way, this is not a dealer for anyone right now, because world is changing, but most of the dealers are not. And they still, instead of creating and embracing the brand's culture and creating the atmosphere around the brand, they're too transactional. And this will go. The dealers that do not adapt to the new reality will die within a couple of years. Maybe this crisis will bury them even more. And that's why the dealers need to also change the mentality of how they represent the product. A lot of dealers present it properly. Amazing KTM dealers, Harley dealers, dealers, but a lot of dealers that we have need to either understand that to represent us, they have to invest with us, they have to be trained, they have to know the product, they have to speak to the client in the correct way, they have to service him in the correct way. Or we don't want to be cherry on the cake. We don't want to be 2, 3 bikes in the corner parked just for the sake I have a Via Augusta in the store. Well, not gonna happen.
No.
So to the dealers, I'm not an arrogant. I'm becoming a rational partner, because Via Augusta sells and performs very well at the dealers that understand it. And we have a lot of cases. We have over 50 monobrand stores already worldwide in 18 months. And these stores perform very well. The dealers that on the cake, we're just getting the product just for the sake of having the sticker that he represents in Via Augusta, these dealers have to go.
Yeah. Is it therefore good that MV Agusta maybe has, I'm not sure, as the first non-Italian person as a CEO, maybe?
Listen, I don't consider Italian or not Italian. It's just, again, it's where your focus is, where your compass is. And I think it's important for any manager to have a right compass. The previous management didn't have Via Augusta interest in mind, I would say that. Because otherwise the company wouldn't be run so badly. This company never in the 25 years of its modern history, because there is a Via Augusta before 80s, the Via Augusta post 95, never actually made profit.
Never.
How come? Yeah, never. Not a single year. And it was run by Harley Davidson, by AMG. All right, so everyone had its own agenda about Via Augusta, but not in interest of Via Augusta. And what I did is I changed the majority of our top management, and I involved all of the company, including all of the workers, in creating the new plan. The new plan that everyone believed in. The company, not anyone else. The company itself, in a very transparent way. So we acknowledged our mistakes. We pointed on our mistake. We highlighted what went wrong. We put a plan together. And now Via Augusta, first time in history, has its own plan that developed by employees of the company.
Really?
Not by some rich guy that bought it as a hobby or multinational that didn't really give a shit about Via Augusta. So that's why now Via Augusta is in a much better place, regardless of me. Yes, I'm the owner. My family owns the business, but I'm replaceable. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be a king in the castle. That's Via Augusta is Via Augusta. It need to survive without me, without my family, because it's a business, and business need to be detached from personalities.
It's good. It's good to hear. It's really good to hear because we have in the recent past we have the Proton thing, we have the Harley Davidson thing, we had the BMW, Husqvarna, AMG. It gives for customer confidence. It's a nightmare, isn't it? Yeah, bang. Yeah.
I know, it's tough, but you know, it's what is surprising that despite of all of this stuff, we still have our 4,000 to 5,000 customers a year that demand, despite all of the barriers, all of the bad network, in the past, bad quality of after-sales support, they still force themselves to buy in Via Augustus, and this is incredible. It means the potential of the brand is enormous.
And you're really a survivor. You've been through all the ups and downs you can imagine.
Yeah, and and that's what give me kind of rational passion.
Yeah.
Rational passion, because it's very important.
Yeah.
You know, not to fall into into just being passionate about it, but rational passion to continue and to create out of Via Augusta a true powerhouse. Because the depth is, the product right now, the company never had the product as it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's very strong, it's very reliable, it's very high tech, it's extremely fun to ride. We make it more accessible. As we cannot make it accessible like, many other European brands, but I'm trying to do it. It's for me, it's important to create, not to be stuck in upper premium segment, because in upper premium segment in Via Augusta turn up not by choice.
Yeah.
It's end up there because of the consequences of its own actions.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, the company restarted with a 4 in 1995, 1996. It was a very high bar, but then after Harley time, started to expand the 3-cylinder range. And then it went up into upper premium segment just because of bad relationship with suppliers.
Yeah.
So right now, my objective is to, within the range, to create more de-specified bikes, because in Via Augusta, it's interesting. The way it builds the product, it puts everything inside. Everything. So, when you put, I give you a perfect example. You take a new Street Fighter, on Ducati, for example.
Yeah.
It's on paper is 22,000 euros. You put Brutale 1000 RR, it's 30,000 euros. And it's like, why? Because Brutale RR has 36 carbon parts in it. 36? Ducati none.
Yeah.
All right, so we specify up to this, and then we on paper look competitive. But in fact, if you go on a configurator and you start specifying Street Fighter the way you want, or not the way you want, but comparable to Brutale, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
So, and this is the way Via Augusta worked. It's like we put everything inside and we deliver it to you perfect.
Yeah.
Where other companies was specifying to give you something super, dry, and then you buy after special parts, and you equip it, and on special parts, the company is making much more margin than on the product.
Yeah.
So this is where in Via Augusta is different from everyone.
If you buy the bike, then it's a total package of everything with the carbon.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. And to be honest, if you buy our bike, then it's so good looking that if you start putting the special parts in it, it loses the balance, it loses the flow.
Yeah.
Of design.
True. I like the idea. Yeah, I like the idea that you don't need a special power pack or performance pack or touring pack or whatever pack, which has to cost 2,000 euros to make your bike as you want them to have. But that's how, especially BMW, Harley Davidson, and KTM is doing the same now. The big brands are making money. Isn't it a temptation for you to still do it?
To the certain extent, we will do this. We're not gonna do it like that. We're never gonna produce something that looks terrible, and then if you want to make it look beautiful, you need to invest another 5,000 euros into it. No,
Yep.
we're never gonna do it. We're gonna stick to our DNA of making very attractive product, and then for sure, if you want to make it more attractive, we'll give you options to do so. But we're not going to go to such an extremes of taking everything out and then showing in the magazine or in the catalog that this bike is competitive. We don't need to do it. We can afford as a brand to be a bit more expensive than Ducati. It's not, we considered is a bit more expensive than Ducati. We considered is a bit more premium than Ducati. Why I say Ducati? Because this is the closest analog of a company to us. Yeah.
What can we expect? Because production has the production been going all the time, or is it restarting?
No. We stopped.
Huh?
No, we stopped production. We had to stop in the middle of March. Then legally lockdown came, but we already the supply chain was so disrupted that we decided to stop in the middle of March, and we restarted production 2 days ago.
Right.
So a bit 1 week earlier than whole Italy. So we got permission from government, from unions. We did all the sanitary cleaning, checks, new procedures. We resprayed the company.
Yeah.
So and they allow us to open. So now we are assembling Super Veloce.
All right.
We started production of Super Veloce.
What can we expect this year? Because, well, the post-corona age, I'm not sure if a lot of manufacturers invest in new products and everything. What can we expect from MV Agusta? What are you working on? What bikes?
We're working on a lot of products right now, and we are rationalized it a bit, and what we also will expand the company to is more mobility. More mobility. So we're gonna produce push scooters. We're gonna produce bicycles.
Under the MV Agusta name, or Cagiva maybe?
No, MV.
Okay.
Why we're doing that? Because right now mobility becoming an important part, and new bikes or scooters, not scooters, not these scooters, push scooters, electric scooters, stand-up scooters, bicycles. We will now expand our fashion and merchandise and accessories part to become. We want to how to say, do the brand extension.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean.
Yep.
To reflect the modern way of mobility provider. So, because now the company shouldn't be called motorcycle anymore. It needs to be more mobility.
Exactly.
Because this is what we are doing. We're providing mobility in the space that we work, in the category that we work. So, regarding the core product, we're working on 950. It's a brand new 950 engine that will be already triple,
yeah.
Triple, but it's a new generation engine. It's a very torquey, very powerful. It is going to be a new generation triple. Our triple is the most performing triple in the market, to be honest. Yeah. And we're now creating the new one. So we're going to have 675, 800 triple, and 50 triple, and 4-cylinder that we just no, four-cylinder, the one that right now new Brutale has. And then we're gonna go down. We will create the 5 to 600.
Yeah, exactly. F350, no?
350 to 420. We now it's in the development, and then also the full platform for 4 products at the 400cc range as well.
All right. Because when you mention the name mobility, it scares me a bit because it is in some kind of it's not really going well together with the premium brand.
Why do you think so?
Mobility, for me, maybe that's me. Mobility, it sounds to me like boring.
It is. It is
boring.
But
boring. Going commuting. Going to your work and back. In the pissing rain. It's not what I think of MV Agusta.
Why so sad?
Yeah, sorry.
Pissing raining. Probably because you're in Holland. We in Italy, it's always sunny.
Well, I don't think Milano or Amsterdam is a lot of difference. But anyway, it doesn't sound sexy mobility for me.
When you will see our push scooter, you will buy it.
When?
100%.
I will buy it even.
Yeah, you will like it so much you will buy it. Because there are products, and there are products that MV Agusta does.
Aha.
Okay, so it's we're not gonna do anything boring and transactional and
exactly
the things like other people do. We will do when we do something. We're gonna do it that everyone should be surprised because we're gonna do the most standout product out of all of them. So, and in the end of the day, if kids want to have something from MV Agusta, why not give them at least this?
Yeah, you have to raise them well, of course. You have to start with. Yeah.
So every company has its own way to be closer to the younger generation. We're not gonna go. We're not gonna create cross bikes.
No.
With the MV Agusta. For us, even 3 or 400cc product is still gonna be performance product, and not many kids can either afford it or will be able to ride it. So if we consider that, what we need to give them?
Yeah.
Why we need to give the kids of 14, 15, 16, 17? Why not give them this?
Yeah.
Why not give them bicycles? Bicycles that represent the spirit of MV Agusta.
Yeah.
That have a DNA of MV Agusta. Yeah. So I understand the concerns that when you stretch the brand, it need to be very careful where you stretch it and how you stretch it. But there are a lot of successful stories of stretching the brand in an incredible way. Take Porsche, for example.
Porsche, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They had one car.
The Cayenne, for instance.
Everything they do right now is incredible.
Yeah, true.
Every product they do.
I mean the Cayenne. It was so tricky to do that, to make a.
But they moved from
regular
one
car. Yeah.
Absolutely. And now the amazing electric Taycan, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Panamera.
Yeah.
And then they are premium in every category they go.
Yeah.
And this model is the most successful performance automotive brand in the world.
And they're a mass producer as well. It's not a boutique exclusive brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're right.
So you see, there are examples of stretching the brand without losing its DNA across multiple products. And we want to be the Porsche. We want to be a mobility company.
Yeah.
And we will have a traditional product, the motorcycles, combustion in the future, of course. We will have electric, and then we will, have scooters. We'll have bicycles, and whatever we will be able to satisfy the clients, we will do. Why not? We need to react to the new reality.
That's it. That's it. Absolutely.
Because I would like, Via Augusta to be appealing to millennials.
True.
This is where actually most of motorcycle brands lost it, and I've been very vocal about it. That one of the issues that motorcycle industry has is that it lost its ability to communicate in the right message with through the dealers, with the quality of dealers, to millennials, and millennials are the most
yeah. What do you
the trendsetters?
trendsetters? Yeah. What do you think? What do you think is a typical millennial motorcycle? Is there one? Is it Husqvarna
Husqvarna
701?
I want to say one, like every single motorcycle is millennial, but tell the story to them. Millennials got used to buy things with a character, with a story around. So and a lot of companies are failing to tell the story, or they're telling the story in the wrong way.
But you mean heritage or a different story?
Just how they tell the story. Some brands are very sport orientated. When guys, the sport doesn't work. That's it. It's proven from Formula One to MotoGP. Everyone who is in sport doesn't generate any sales. So they focus on appealing to the customer. The customer is not interested. It's either kids or it's older people. But the middle between, 30 to 50, it's not for them. They don't. There are so many technologies that, for example, in Via Augusta right now embracing that other brands don't do to make the motorcycle ride easy and safe. We are performance motorcycle.
Right? Yes.
But we're making sure that even when you buy Brutale 1000, it's easy to ride. You have a lot of, a lot of information to be comfortable. It will do everything to keep you on the road. But many companies don't do it. They present it. It's dangerous. It's tricky. And they're like, wait a second. You need to understand that we know a lot now about. We see accidents. We watch YouTubes. We watch. People send us stuff on the phones. We see that the motorcycling is dangerous. So why are you not pushing the message that it's safe and fun, and you're closer to elements, you're closer to people, you're much more free? Nobody do it. Everyone is trying to. Harley is one. It's more lifestyle. But most of the brands are constantly orientating themselves for dynamic driving, for breaking the rules, risk your life. It's like, whoa.
But couldn't you make easy performant, electronically high-tech motorcycles without the sheer power of a Brutale 1000 RR? Because
sure.
No, but I mean, I was thinking about the 350, 500, 600s you're going to make. Is it by Lonsin in China, or is it?
We were doing it together because you cannot build this type of bikes in Europe be competitive for price. I mean, it's not like we want to do it. It's unfortunately we are in the global economic environment. By the way, maybe post-coronavirus it actually will be different because I'm not a great supporter of globalization, because I see that me as a company is unable to produce, for example, 400cc bike in Italy, industrialize it in Europe, and be competitive. Period.
No.
So it's not like I want to go and assemble it in China.
No, but it's for me. I wouldn't blame you, you know, to have it built in China. But I was thinking, okay, if what does a person, a 40-year-old, what would he like to have? Could it be something like your 600cc with a good sports style, maybe a little bit like Aprilia 660 or something, and make it even attractive? And then I thought about the Suzuki Recursion, you know, the prototype which was introduced, a light 650 twin cylinder with a supercharger. Light, flexible, and integrate all the safety stuff, make it easy to ride, easy in town.
But that's most of our ranges. We don't 650 or 600, but our 800 engine,
Yeah.
it is goes from 110 horsepower in the Rosso range,
Yeah.
and Rosso range is designed for urban commuting.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, okay,
this
right.
is the range we did as an N3. We have Dragster, Brutale, and Turismo Veloce is designed for commuting. It's simple. Yes, it's premium. It's 110 horsepower. Is extreme. Have all of the electronics. It's fun to ride. Our nakeds are the best nakeds in the world. In terms of the chassis dynamics, weight to power ratio, and electronic package. It's a really good bike. Then you go into the more performance RR. You have Brutale and Dragster RR, and then you have 1000 RR. We have now Super Veloce.
Yeah.
And you should be, clients shouldn't be scared about how much CC. At the end of the day, who cares? Do you know how much CC you have in your car?
No,
I
of course
don't.
not. No, no, but
Because it's already gone. You
But
need
it's-
to you have a it's a feel. If you feel comfortable, who cares how much more you have potential to go?
Of course, because that's so interesting in car industries, in car manufacturers. They're building 1.2 liter triples with a turbo, and it's making massive amounts of power, and that's interesting.
Look at that. Have you seen the latest? The Koenigsegg, this
Yes.
hyper car.
Yeah.
Three cylinder, 600 horsepower,
Hey,
1.8 engine, 1 liter engine.
now we're talking. That's how MV Agusta should push it.
Yeah, this is what we are going. So, it's interesting. We were even considering removing completely the CC from the product because it's becoming irrelevant.
Yes.
Yes, the older generation say no, but you need to have for the torque. So wait a second. You need to know horsepower. That's becoming much more, because with the electric products right now, young people do not know what capacity is. You ask a 25-year-old right now, 20-year-old, they don't know what actually CC is. That's it. Because now they get mix of combustion engines and electric engines, and the only ratio between them is horsepower.
Yeah. But they just want to hear what mileage does it have, or how far can I get with it. Talking about electric, because maybe that's a little bit further in the future. An electric MV Agusta, would that be possible someday?
Electric is an important part of the development for any automotive, because right now an environment is becoming a more and more important topic, and customer wants to see and associate themselves with the company that taking this responsibly. This type of message. The problem with electric in motorcycling is that the technology is not there at all. No, that's impossible to make a motorcycle profitably using electric propulsion. You can do a 3-4 kilowatt 3-4 kilowatt product produced in China, only in China, and you will make very, very small margin. But as soon as you go over 3-4 kilowatts, and I studied this, I travel, I've seen all these companies, I wanted to understand more and more, and I'm telling you, in China, the company is producing 1 million electric scooters, the margin is 50 euro per product. 50 euro. How you can survive for this?
No, you cannot. You cannot.
So you have this kind of a bloodbath of fight, and you look at it, it's like, why even think about this right now? So if you produce like some companies produce expensive products like Zero or Cake, for example, they produce the product, the cake, this bike, the cost what 13,000-14,000 euros
At least.
for God's sake. Look at the cake, and look at the Via Augusta Brutale Rosso for 12,000 euros. How you can compare amount of work, craftsmanship that went to the product of this and what went into cake? Because in the cake, it's a battery. It's a battery with two wheels. Where it's Brutale is a well thought for 4 years industrialized out of 1,600 parts piece of art that tested in terms of the dynamics and safety and the rideability. So you look at this product, and you right now look at the new startups that, because of the hype, creating something that can be good, can be bad, but it's not even comparable in terms of amount of efforts that goes into creating something like Brutale or another automotive product. So for us, first, we don't see what until the technology is there for us to rationally use the power cell, create the product that delivers emotion, not just the torque. Because everyone talks about electric product is just a torquey motorcycle.
Yeah, true.
But the torque is not it's not the why we're buying the motorcycles. We're buying motorcycles for feel, for rideability, for you feeling the grip, for you feeling the edge, But you cannot do it with name me one electric bike that has good rideability. It's not. The power, the weight distribution is, for most of them, is is not right. They're too heavy.
True. Yeah.
So they don't have a noise. They don't have vibrations. For sure we want to do it, but when we will do it? 5-7 years minimum.
Yeah.
And where it's gonna come from? Probably from 400cc side product. But again, we need to have stone, because right now, think about it. You look at the product of Harley or Ducati or Triumph, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not one Bosch motor,
with wheels and
a battery. Square battery. Put the covers on top of this. What is it, really? So we're moving from the craftsmanship into completely soulless product. That's what the world really wants us to just do. Completely forget about the creation and the purpose of the creation. So, yes, electronic watch. It is cheaper to do, and maybe it shows better time. But the classic watch is still when you look at it, it's not just time.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what about Cagiva in this whole story? Does it still have opportunities?
Yes, Cagiva. We decided to launch it as an urban mobility.
Urban mobility. Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be electric. It's going to be multifunctional, and we come up with one design and with second design, and then urban mobility changes. It's something new. It's constantly evolving, and we want to create something that in 2 years' time, when it will come up, will be on point.
Yeah.
So I think we have something, and it's coming.
Cool. Cool.
Kajiva will be urban mobility electric propulsion vehicle.
Cool. So at the end of this year, well, there will be no EICMA. What can we expect from MV Agusta? 950?
950 we're not showing this year, no. 950 we're going to show in the EICMA, hopefully 21.
Yep, okay.
This year we show a lot. There is a restyling coming for most of the products with Euro 5. So the 3-cylinder range will be mildly restyled. Then we hopefully we're going to show our new concept of what the future family of product will look like. So I cannot tell you what, but it's going to be super surprising. And what else we show? There's going to be a F3, restyled F3, more aggressive than it is right now. It's a kind of because the F3 going to go through major overhaul and get 950 engine from 22.
All right.
So the next year F3 will be the last F3s of its current 800 platform, and it's going to be it will look very different to what it is right now. It's going to be a super cool bike. Generally, I wouldn't say we're launching completely new model next year, no, because this year we come up with the 2 new models, Super Veloce and the Brutale RR. It's going to be Brutale R.
Okay. Same engine.
Yes, the Turismo Veloce will be, we're changing a bit of the ergonomics of the bike. All the bikes will have new electronic systems already with the cornering ABS, new dashboards. So we do a lot of working on existing product to make it better. But from 2022 we have whole 950 range coming, and from 2023, new Turismo Veloce, and there are a couple of new categories that MV Agusta is entering,
right?
That will head spin a lot of funds.
Yeah, cool. Good. So I think, do you have anything to add? Do you?
No, I just want to encourage
something?
I just want to encourage people to not to be down in this particular moment, and the season is still coming. So go and buy your bike and ride. I think right now people really want to get out of the house.
Oh yeah, they're so bored. Yeah. Well, we are lucky in the Netherlands, of course, but in other countries must be.
No, but it's really you see not just people's rights violated, to a certain extent, because the governments are not they failed to react on it. And to this crisis, many governments failed to react to it adequately, and they violated the rights of the citizens, and it will take a lot of time to recover.
Yeah.
But again, bikes are something that gives you probably the closest to the freedom.
Hey, of course, but that's it. With keeping social distancing.
With keeping in the helmet and gloves.
Hey. How safe you want to have it? I've got one more thing to ask you, because you're of course you're CEO and president of MV Agusta Motor. But what I liked about your Instagram account is that you call yourself a human being at MV Agusta Motor.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
Yeah, the most important for us to stay human. Because if we will behave human-like to each of us, we will have no wars, no conflicts. And I think this is the most important. Because it's a very thin line between being human and being an animal. And a lot of people...
Or an asshole.
Well, no animal is a is an asshole.
Okay, cool. All right, I see. Oh, you're a little bit more decent in your language than me, anyway. Right, I think there's one thing I hope is that, when all this is over a little bit and when there's no lockdown anymore, I hope to visit you, at the factory in Skirana.
Outdoors are always open.
Right, we'll organize something. It's a really pleasure. I wish you really all the luck and all the strength and all the motivation to keep going. And what I hear from you is that it'll be fine. It's good to hear.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye. Have a good day.
For you too. Stay safe.
Yo, same. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.